Well, it's the first long weekend after a long winter with no bank holidays, and the world is my oyster. I'm currently here on Mount Ruapehu in Tongariro National Park, just on my way up to the summit. The plan is to head up here, over into the crater, and set up there for tonight for some nice sunset and sunrise photography. I'm planning to do one night on the mountain. So you can see just behind me here, Mount Narihoe, which is a 2,200 peak volcano. And then just behind that is Mount Tongariro, which is about 2,000 meters, which is, I guess, an extension of that volcano, and that's the most active part of this volcanic region. So I'm currently here on Ruapehu, about 2,500 meters. I've got to walk up here another 100 meters, and then I'm pretty much at the crater. So you'll see here that this is where I camped in one of my previous videos about 8 weeks ago. I had some good shots on the mountain here, and I was doing some shots up this way. You can check those videos out. And a little plug for myself: if you like what I'm doing, subscribe to my channel, that'll be really cool. So yeah, weather's looking good, a little bit breezy today. You'll just see just behind me here, if I turn around, there's some cloud rolling in a little bit, but we're above the cloud. Not too worried about that. I know we've got good weather tomorrow. And yeah, so I'm going to continue up, and I'll see you up there. Okay, so I'm in the crater here, currently at 2,600 meters. I actually managed to find like a little passageway between I guess the crater edge, where I just came through, which was nice and easy, which meant I didn't have to come down one of these mountain sides, lips, whatever you want to call them. Pretty windy up here, but it's not too bad. So I'm currently going to have a look around and see if I can find any compositions. It's quite vast up here, so I think I've got an hour or two maybe looking around, and then I'm going to try and find somewhere to pitch my tent, somewhere that's easily accessible between sunset and sunrise. Try and optimise my time. So it's so peaceful up here. There's not many people up here today. There's a few skiers around. I'll try and show this in black and white because the textures up here are so smooth, and the kind of mountain peaks are so jagged that it could be, kind of reminds me a bit of images that you see on films of the moon. Like, it's so desolate and bare up here that you just don't see these kind of things normally. Which kind of explains really why I want to be up here taking photos. And I've kind of got these visualizations in my mind of, you know, golden sunset hues lighting up all this snow, you know, refractive light coming down just after sunset and glowing all the snow, and trying to find these leading lines and really kind of focusing on the composition and the light, and try and find like a really strong composition. So that's I kind of guess the goal of what I'm trying to do up here. And I've got two opportunities to do that. I've got sunset and sunrise. So I'm thinking, so the wind's coming east to west, and just behind me here, I'm thinking I'm going to be sheltered there from the wind if I set my tent up over there. but I'm going to have a look around. There's also just over here, just about here around this corner, is the Crater Lake, so we'll go around there and have a look around there and see what's around there. I'm thinking, like, I've been up here before, so I know there's some potential shots over there as well. So yeah, I'll have a look around and I'll come back soon. So I've just ventured over to the other side of the crater, just having a look around, and I found these kind of really interesting lines here. Kind of reminds me of the beach, you know, how the wind blows the sand and creates these ripples, and they're kind of curving and weaving and kind of leading into these jagged peaks here, which I think are really cool. I mean, it's so desolate up here and bare. You don't find many places like this. Not easily accessible. It's pretty cool. Anyway, I'm gonna have a look around a bit more and I'll see what I find. So I've just come over here to the west side of Mount Ruapehu. I came up the east side and I come across the crater, and I'm now just on the west side of the crater looking down west. You can just see behind me here. It's so clear, absolutely beautiful. Wind's getting up a bit over here though. You can just see kind of back here on the peaks. Don't know if you can see that, but there's still a little bit of snow on the peaks over there. And the snow's kind of really starting to melt just here. So anyway, I've had a wander over here. I think I'm going to head back over towards the other side of the crater now and check out the Crater Lake and see what's over there. So I'll head over there and I'll see you over there. So I'm just walking over to the Crater Lake. I just thought I'd take a minute just to explain something that happened in one of my previous videos. The last time I was up here, I was planning to spend more than one day on the mountain. But unfortunately I had a technical error. Well, maybe not technical, more like pilot error. I forgot to bring my phone cable. As it stands, I'm doing these videos on my iPhone, and there's good reason for that. First one is, I use my phone for navigation. In an environment like this, all it takes is a whiteout or something, and I'm no longer able to move around safely because I can't see the cliff edges. So with the GPS and a map, I can do that, I can still move around. So it's a safety measure really. And the other aspect as to why I use my phone is because of weight. I kind of get two functionalities from my phone, navigation and videoing, which works well for me. When you're up in these environments, it's your priority is safety. The photography comes secondary. So most of my gear that I carry is for safety. My camera gear weighs about 5 kg in total. And then I've got an alpine tent. I've got a little jet boil cooker. I've got enough food for tonight and tomorrow morning. And then I've got a number of layers, depending on how cold or warm I am, what the wind's doing. Crampons, ice axe, helmet. All the other safety gear that you need for moving around. So all that weighs about 20 kg, I suspect. I've never actually weighed my bag, but with my camera gear and the rest of my safety gear, it's about 25 kg. So I guess when you take that into consideration and you're climbing, you know, I mean, today I've climbed 1,700 meters of elevation over 4 hours. So when you're doing this, you really start to try and save some weight. Yeah, so last time I forgot my phone charger, and towards the end of the sunset shoot my phone died and I wasn't able to do any videos. I did actually come up here for a climb. I came up and summited and didn't really take any photos, and I decided to go home after that. I guess the other safety feature of my phone is that I use it to be able to contact people in case of emergencies. I know I can get a phone signal up here. If I couldn't get a signal, I'd carry an EPIRB or like a Garmin InReach or something where I was able to contact people. So I know I can get a signal up here. So I mean, that's I guess a third consideration for my phone. But anyway, so yeah, I came up here 8 weeks ago, had a pilot error and wasn't able to do what I said I was going to do, or what I set out to do. But that's okay. I learned from that. I now keep a phone charger in my bag at all times. It's funny how that works. So anyway, I'm just walking over here to the crater. You can see just behind me here, it kind of tails off. This is west. So yeah, I'm going to continue walking over this way and I'll show you the crater when I get over there. See you soon. So I'm just here at the crater lake. You can just see this behind me here. I don't know if you can see that, but it's kind of steaming. There was an unfortunate event a few weeks ago. Some poor bugger was climbing around here and he slipped and fell in and unfortunately died. I don't know the full circumstances of why that happened or what he was doing or what safety gear he had. But yeah, it was really, really, really unfortunate to hear that, you know, particularly in the climbing community. Yeah. So there's some potential compositions around here. You'll just see it behind me here as well. Here. This is the actual summit, which is kind of 2,750 metres. There's actually some quite nice curves up here and details and in the snow, leading lines. And I kind of quite like this curve here. I know that these directions are going to get the good light. So these are potential opportunities. I've got two potential opportunities kind of just around the corner where I was before. So yeah, so I think I'm going to head back kind of just over this way, which is just kind of just around here. I'm going to find a place around there to set up my tent. I'm going to do that, and then so I'll get into that and I'll catch you later. So I've just pitched my tent. You can just see this behind me here. So it's a Hilleberg tent. It's a red label light alpine tent. It's designed for high alpine use and in four season use. The fly goes down to the ground on the outside, so then you can put the snow over the edge to stop the wind blowing underneath. So I've done that, and then I've got some tough stake sand and snow anchors, so I've just put those in and I'm all good to go. Put my airbed up, got my sleeping bag in there, and now I'm just going to go and have a look around. The sun's going to go down in about, I'd say about an hour, so I've just been looking around for compositions. I found one here that I like, and I found one just 15-minute walk away, so I'm going to try and get those two shots tonight. So before the sun goes down, I just wanted to explain my approach to my photography. So as you can see here, I'm obviously on the mountain, and I'll wait until sunset, and I use the photographer's emphasis to plan my shots, so I know when the light is going to go down, I know what direction it's going to be in, and I know how long I've got. So once I know roughly what the light's doing, I'll mooch around and find some compositions. what I tend to do is when I find something that I like, I'll just get my camera out and I'll just work the scene, kind of, and I'll try different heights, you know, just kind of squat and then come up and try different focal lengths until I find something I like, and I really try and focus on getting the composition really right, leading lines, nice and simple. Yeah, so once I've got that figured out, then I'll get my tripod out, and then I'll get my tripod height right, and I'll fix my camera up, and then I'll put my filters on. So that's roughly how I set up. When I shoot, I tend to shoot in square crop, and there's a reason for that. It makes me focus on the composition, foreground detail, sky detail. It makes me work the scene and connect the foreground with the subject. In terms of aperture, I normally shoot in the sweet spot of the lens. Now I'm shooting a Fujifilm X-T1 with the 16-55 f2.8, and I know on that camera that the sweet spot throughout the focal range is about f5.6, between f5.6 and f8, around there. And I generally keep it within that range because I know then that I'm going to get the best image quality. Exposure, I just shoot auto. I don't really care too much about that. I've got a tripod, so it doesn't really matter. And ISO 200. Metering, I tend to spot meter. So I'll spot for in this environment, in the snow, I'll always spot meter for the snow. And then what I tend to do is I tend to push my exposure up so it goes as far right as I can, so I can get as much information in, and then I bracket, so I go 1 over, 1 under. And that kind of guarantees me that I'm going to get the best shot with as much detail. And that's pretty much it. So yeah, I'm just going to wait for the sun to go down, and then I'll try and get back on the video for the final shot. Alright, catch you soon. So yeah, did a few shots. I'm not really feeling too excited about them. I mean, I'll put them up anyway and show you. I mean, if they're not okay, then that's okay. I mean, I've got another chance tomorrow, and to be honest with you, I prefer the light sunrise. It's a much softer light. Yeah, so I've got my alarm set for 5 o'clock, and first light's due around 6ish. So yeah, so I'll put I'll put a couple of pictures up on this video. So yeah, I'll put those up, and I'm going to get some sleep now. Pretty tired. Yeah, did about 5 hours worth of walking today. 1700 meters of elevation. Had some food a while ago, so I'm feeling good, hydrated, and ready for a good night's sleep, and I'll see you tomorrow. Good night. Good morning. It's 5 o'clock. Last night was an okay sleep, I think. I think I fell asleep. I'm not too sure. I know I was definitely awake for some of that. The wind was getting up and rattling the tent, and I can feel a tiny little bit of cold coming through. I mean, it's nothing too problematic, I guess. I guess it's just the challenges you face of camping at altitude on the snow. That's all good. I've just had a quick look outside. I can still see stars, although I can see the light starting to change. So I'm going to get up now and have a drink and start making my way over to where my first shot's going to be. So I'll see you soon. Okay, so I'm just over where I was taking some shots. You can just see behind me here. This peak here, so I was taking some shots there. Kind of shooting away from the sun, so trying to get that purple hue. So I got a few shots there. And then I noticed there's a big cloud inversion just behind me. I don't know if you can see that, just there. And there's this nice ridge here, so I've been taking some photos there as well. The light's coming up now, it's getting pretty bright. So that's going to be me for this trip. It's been pretty good. I'm going to make my way back to my tent, I'm going to have some breakfast, and I'm going to head down the mountain. See you soon. So I've just got back down to my car. It took me an hour and a half to get down, which is pretty good. As you can see, I've got a bit of sunburn on my face. It's a bit of annoying. Even though I put sun cream on, like factor 50, I've still managed to get sunburn, obviously from the reflection of the sun of the snow. So next time I definitely need to get a stronger sun cream. My feet are feeling quite bruised as well, but that's okay. So I'm going to head off home now. Yeah, I hope you like the pictures, and if you like what I'm doing, then subscribe to my channel. See you next time.